Mahasangha and Bhikkhunis. When I say Mahasangha, Bhikkhunis also included. Dear devotees, it's a very, very fortunate day for everybody, including the Mahasangha here today. We see big gathering here to listen to this most precious Dhamma talk from Venerable Bambalapitiye Gnanaloka Thero. Some of you may already have heard his Dhamma talk, listened to his Dhamma talk via YouTube. And this is the second time that he has been to this temple. This is the second Dhamma talk he is delivering today. When he came first time, I was not here, I was in Sri Lanka. But I have heard his Dhamma talk. I have listened to many Dhamma talks from Bhante. It's a very precious, it's a treasure to our Sasana. Very spiritual monk, very highly elevated mind, good understanding. And that's why I said we are very fortunate. I think he delivers his Dhamma talk not only from the Buddha's teaching, but also from what he has experienced from his practice. That is the most important thing. It's very easy for somebody to give a Dhamma talk or speech, to say something that you know, not that what you have read or what you have seen. When you know something, it is very easy to tell others, right? Communicate with others. So, Venerable monk has been in forest many years, I think half of his lifetime maybe, if I am not wrong. In Himalaya, not in Sri Lanka, but in Himalaya. Himalaya is the biggest mountain, deep mountain in India. So there are many sages, many hermits, many spiritual beings there. So he also lived there for many years in his life, practicing, and that is what he is going to share with you today, I assume. So we respectfully, on behalf of all the monks at the Vihara and our devotees, I very respectfully welcome Bhante Bambalapitiye Gnanaloka Thero to deliver his Dhamma talk for our devotees.
First, all blessings to all of you, and first my reverence to the Master, Sri Sambuddha. I would say our only hope in this existence, and the Dhamma, his teachings, as well as finally his Sangha, Arya Mahasangha, the noble Sangha, was practiced, purified, and my veneration to all the senior Bhantes here, and also my brother monks and friends in the Dhamma. So it's a surprise, all these tours for me, because I thought I'll be meeting few people here. But I'm very happy that so many souls striving on this path. And this is kind of my second meeting. Can the people outside, can they hear? Cannot hear. You can't squeeze in here, right? You can sit where, some of you can sit the walking path, if you like, if you're not shy. Okay? Give me 2 hours, please, okay? Try to be with me for 2 hours. If you can, some of you have to go somewhere, I don't know, your train or something. That might help, but give me 2 hours just to be with me, alright? You can take something with you for your future, for your journey, inward journey actually. So, anyway, this is for me an occasion. This is my second trip. First trip was after a near-death experience, 2015 in the Himalayas. We often get this attitude. Actually, the way Bhante explained, I'm not all the time in Himalayas, I'm not all the time in the jungle. Okay, I have quality time in the Himalayas and quality time in the jungle. I would say like that. Okay, that's the truth. So, I would say myself is a more solitary monk, or I can't say jungle or anywhere. I try to cut my connections externally, as well as for me to develop my internal disconnection. So that's how I live even in Sri Lanka. Here only I'm a little caught with the people who have to take me here and there. I'm helpless. I can't just come out of the flight and then sort of walk to this place. So I would like to share that time when I came, I faced this near-death experience. Because many years back, people invited me to come to States. And that time as a young monk, I told them, when I'm an Arahant, I will come. I meant it, I don't care. What I meant was, when I'm completely perfect, that I will come. Because why should I come there when I still see mistakes and faults in my thoughts? So, what happened, I kept on practicing, and then I came to a point where one time in 2015, actually, I had this near-death experience when we normally get this altitude sickness, but this time I felt I would not make it. But anyway, I made it. So after that I did, and when I was about to, or someone said that, did you see your body from outside or something? I told them I didn't die that much. But of course I knew that, I was breathless, my body was getting slowly weak, and how long to go on like that? I don't know whether you know that area, Mansarovar Lake. There's a lake, one of the biggest lake in the Himalayas, 98 kilometers circumference. So there, it's like Western Tibet is very rugged, no facilities, no emergency, not even to find a doctor, even just a local doctor. That area. I think you all are from where? From India or which part?
I was born in Bombay, but I have been Rishikesh.
Right. So in that this thing I faced. I'll cut short that part of the story, but anyway, I came to a point where I knew I would not make it. So we have a practice already for long years. I have practiced. Some things I know for many years. When I was even a young boy, which first inspired me because with my search for what is going on in this world. So I was interested in physics and all other different religions and trying to make a world picture out of it. So I came to some certain, I jump here and there, okay? I think you have listened to my teachings before. I don't know whether it's a defect or whether it's a So anyway, I'll cover one important point. So this, at that time also, I want to make this, so I was interested in physics, especially theory of relativity. It gave me some proof about the other worlds, actually, the other dimensions or other living existence. So those things I use because time dilation doesn't exist. Have you heard about it? I don't know. That near the speed of light, the time can be stretched or it slows down. So I happen to connect with some of the other books regarding the heavens, the description of heavens, like 1,000 years on earth is one day there, and start to read such the Buddhist cosmology. So it looks so it's real then. So it's a big story. I really focused on that and used that. I was able to connect that those beings are powerful. So use that to pass my exams. Okay, those days, because I didn't study anything. So, like predicting, alright? It worked, alright? So based on that only, I had other experiences later on, at the age of 18, about the impermanence. So this is the one really triggered my journey, and I came to Sri Lanka. I met my teacher. I did search for any monk or anyone. I went to my grandma, we met him, and he brought me to the suttas. Okay, Buddhas. He told me to read, ask my experience, and then he told me, you read these suttas, everything will be okay. That's how the journey started. Then when I read the original suttas, do you know when I say sutta? Anyone know or doesn't know? Sutta is the Buddha's original words. It was in Pali. And any scholar knows that, the modern scholars, according to science of languages or whatever, it's well established that it is the oldest language and it's the Buddha's original language when he was alive, historically. So, these suttas my teacher referred to, and I took already, by that time, I had the habit of not theoretically getting that. It was practice. So applying it, that's an important thing. We are going to get an idea now. So with that that applying thing was there. So that's how it started. That's why I already knew all these things. So when I've been practicing, we had some very clear experiences when I happened to stay with my teacher finally later on for longer periods in solitude with him. So when I faced this near-death experience at Manasarva, we have this practice. You're already accomplishing that, to look at ourselves from outside in an objective way as body, feeling, perceptions and so on. Okay, what we are made up of. Okay, we are made up of body, and then we have feeling, perception and so on. It's a part of factors of consciousness. I'm talking about because today in the modern world, still it's a mystery. They're writing a lot of books, a lot of ideas about consciousness. I feel sorry sometimes. It's good, it's okay. But anyway, in the ancient, especially in the Eastern philosophies, it's already established. Consciousness is something separate from the body. Body is used as a means for it to rise. Okay, body can never, consciousness is using body as a means to arise. It cannot arise without a body. So, but it is not in the body. So that's very important. If you try to search that way, to go on. Maybe you have a good project for 5-6 years and you have a good salary and existence in society. Okay, never ending search. So Deepak Chopra is the closest person I know in the Western world who has nice day. Deepak Chopra, anyone know? So explain this, or at least put people into certain familiarity regarding consciousness. Alright, but it's a big topic, alright, because this is coming from ancient Hindu, well-known this thing. It's connected with also karma, how it arises, or the type of consciousness you will get. So anyway, my mind is going from, it's a complicated movie, alright, don't worry about it. So at the near-death experience there, I prepared myself with this observing myself. Before that, another thought came. I couldn't give enough to the people, and can't help it now. Next life, I will do it. So it's kind of a regret, and anyway, I then overcome this. It's a long story how I managed to survive. Anyway, then I realized I have overdone this practice. I should have shared something on the way. So that's what made me, without being fully enlightened, to come and try and teach others. That's the one that gave me the impulse. Then it worked out in 2017. And there also I touched a little, I don't know whether how many of you were there, even another place, I can't remember, the program Sacramento, I think, I don't know. Anyway, did you come? Did you all come? No, the one behind. Anyway, 7 years back, so then I gave in a very fast way, generally about what will block your path. Because my path is not like just getting some knowledge, how to make it a personal experience in you. So it's good to meet me or to have a connection or to have this exposure if you really want to experience this. What are the blessings of that? Some people ask me when they're going over this forest and especially it's a Sri Lankan question, right? They ask, what stage of enlightenment do you reach? Okay, I think the more Western, they are more, I would say, courteous and I think respectful not to ask this question. So in actually this kind of enlightenment thing, of course, my teacher has told us already what to do. We should not even tell to ourselves, even if we get some clarity or something. This is not something, we should continue our practice. We should just learn to continue our practice. And if we get some clarity, we could call it clarity. If we get some peace, we will not call it Dhyana. We got Samadhi, or we felt a good meditation. Not even Samadhi. Alright? This is the best way, a healthy way. So our teachers, they guided us those days. So if I stop, I will lose the flow. Okay. Yeah, this happens to me very often. Give me a few minutes, alright. I live in two worlds. One is talking, giving knowledge. It's a very different world, and another one, not thinking at all. So you have to mix. So if you, as I told you, if you want to really experience, this is good. So that time I was giving knowledge, but now it's not much big difference. That how to change your lifestyle, which is going to be the modern day, which is going to block you to realize this. And because if it doesn't become a realized knowledge, we have a law called karma. And there's a bigger purpose of this practice. It's not just practicing for being peaceful and so on. One is to be fearless, of course being peaceful without any stress, tension, and having a wonderful, blissful life in the moment. And facing death without fear. That's another one, that's the main one. So as I told you, they will ask me this question, what I have attained. I can't tell, how to make, it's not, there's no one to tell. Even though today there's so many telling they have done this and that, and it's not my way of this thing. I can tell, if I look back to my own practice, I would say, whatever I have done, these practices, I can face death, better. If I can practice more, I'm sure I can, really. So if someone comes to kill me, I think it's the best thing I have done. And also now giving the teachings like this more systematic way, even the regret I had last time, that also will be gone now. Okay? So really I would say this is what for you all also. So even young people are here, quite a lot of them. I heard some of them have gone to a cruise or something today, I think so. Anyway. So what you get from this is you will not fear about your exams. One is when you're facing exams, other one is when the results come. Okay, so when you do well, don't do like that. I was like that. Actually, my teacher was a little upset that I didn't care how the results came. But these fears will go away because you will be mentally strong, mentally stable, and so on. So this is this is one occasion. Then this time I happened to come again. It is an extension of that. It's 2 years back. Corona, everything happened, and 2 years ago another experience came to me in a very interesting way. I have this connection with this, some karma with Hindu yogis who have developed samadhi. There's some karma I have, I think, in my previous lives. So they happen to be around me, even so it doesn't matter, I like them because that helps me to keep myself pure and also keep my sila. That has definitely helped those connections or those habits. So, and definitely if I use for the Dhamma, it can be very useful. So this kind of connection, this kind of meeting happened 2 years back. This was, now even in India, even in other parts of the world, people are losing faith in the power of monks. You understand? They are having, they don't feel inspired actually. Materialism has taken over so much. And also other powers like, maybe wealth, maybe some status, that's what even ourselves also have gone behind. Not the spiritual power, not the mental power, spiritual power, mystical power mainly. So in India also it's like that. We call them Babas, Baba means like a monk or sadhu, an ascetic. There are these different types of ascetics in India. India is like a vast land of different types of traditions. So these people also around recently, time to time, even in the midst of all this, there will be some rising with some, giving the inspiration again as if it's the time of the olden times. So such persons, one person, actually one of my assistants, he, Kapakar, who is the oldest assistant to help me in India, he told me, Swami, Bante, there is one, this Baba, you should go and meet. The reason is, my assistant, he always is an Indian person, Hindu, okay, who is to help me deal with money. So he always wanted me with my meditation, his dream, that I do some magic. Okay, he's like a different type of person. So this particular monk, according to him, he's doing some kind of magic. Magic means he will tell your personal details and everything. Like he will call lakhs of people with different problems, a lot of compassion, and he has like a board. Okay, I hope you are not guess who he is. Okay, because today YouTube is so much. This board thing can give you a big clue to find out. Anyway, he has a board like that. He calls the people by their name or personal, maybe telephone number. They tell to call this person. And when they come and they sit down, he would, he writes something. He writes and then he says, why did you come? What's your problem? And then he says this problem, that problem, some cancer, this problem or something. And then he has written the problem and then also a solution. So he become very famous for this all over. Especially poor people, rich people, ministers, everybody's coming. All are suffering human beings. So it's like Muslims, Christians, it's all common when they know. So this my assistant told me to go and I would not, before I happened to go sometime, but now I don't want to meet anyone, I'm not very interested. But something urged me to go. So I went there. When I went there, he was not there. A lot of people, but the place is also very, I feel the energy is so connected. It's a mountain, very remote area, a village area. And there I made a certain, actually I was also, I didn't know how it operated. Someone told me you just, I thought there's some reception and some place where I could, get some contact and go and meet him, maybe next time. They said just pray to that mountain there, then you'll meet him. Actually it is so. So what happened, I just had a certain wish before I left. Meet some good friends on the path, you know, who will give me some more support. I had this thought actually very deep in me. And I left. Then next trip also, I went another trip. It's a very coincidence. He was in the same flight. He also had gone for some tours of programs, and he was there. It's small flight to a small village, small area. So there are a lot of other people also there, and then when I was going, like the vehicle was going from the airport with his entourage, and he saw me, and he called me. He said, "Are you going to that place?" I do not say the name, right? I said yes. And then he told his people, bring this sadhu. And then I had already arranged my transport, and he went straight to his home. He first sees his mom, and when we went there, thousands of people already knowing he's there. He took me to his home, and he did the same thing to me, that writing thing. He had some few people, and he said, "I want to meet with you," and sent them all. And he did that, and so on. Anyway, I met him several times, very easily. I don't have any way of, I don't keep addresses or this thing, but it's funny. We happen to bump into each other almost any time he's there. I'm bound to meet him. I'm running with a lot of crowd. So he told me the reason for that previous birth, we were like brother monks. We were like brother monks in this type of meditation, yogic way. So anyway, one day he came, "Your practice is not enough." He didn't say practice, he said not enough. Like 2 o'clock in the morning, because there's no day and night, and people are waiting to meet him, and then suddenly he came at about 2 o'clock, and he told me, he came to me straight all the time, he used to meet me, and he said, "Not enough, not enough." I said, "What is Swami, what is not enough?" His English is also not, this thing, now my English also gone, because long time speaking in Sinhalese, one time, but doesn't matter, hopefully something is left for me to speak with you. Because for the Sri Lankan crowd, long time, anyway, that's my karma to meet certain group of people. So later he said, "I will explain," and then when we went to his private thing, he told me, "We expect you can do more meditation, you can do more power, more practice. That's why not that you're not enough, but we want to encourage you." That's why we told like that. So then I went back. Something? In my life, like when I became a monk, I happened to live a tough life. Not by force, by choice. Okay, I like the ascetic way. My teacher was so, and we also, felt so inclined to his way. So when I became a monk, it's like walking and one arms round, and miles and miles, thousand sometimes I have gone through LTT and those days. So anyway, this life, getting wet, getting dry, so I also had to deal with some tough brother monks. Okay, tough means maybe my karma initially. So I was a young monk, my teacher gave me all this thing to do things, and they didn't want to listen to me. So I had to take them on a commando journey. So then they felt some respect. So anyway, those days it was very interesting. And there I had to use more samadhi, to tell you honestly. So there are 2 types of meditation, mainly samadhi. When I say samadhi, concentration meditation, and the other one is analyzing. Okay, wisdom meditation, I would call it. So when I was a young boy, and until this ordination and all this change of lifestyle, I was doing this, analyzing, contemplating from the suttas. This is not from my own analysis. This happened when I with physics and all this in the initial stages. And then when I met my teacher, when I got the suttas, then we know how to apply it and so on in practical life. And apply it. If someone comes shouting, I would be able to. There are experiences I share sometimes where, like my angry auntie, when she came shouting, how I, what I read, the Mahastipadopara Sutta, the Great Footprint Simile Sutta, how, that exercise has to be done before, where you begin to see the emptiness that all what we are made out of, like the body, feeling, perception, or especially the body, which is made out of the 5 elements, that when you separate, separate mentally, you see them as, you separate them, like what is inside our body in this space and what is outside. Any hard nature, it's taken like that. It's nature-wise, it's same. Liquid nature, if you have like the blood and the water in the tap, if you look at it mentally, that's the exercise you have to develop to see the real things as they are. So that's where the thinking, analyzing means actually focusing or reflecting to see, to be aware of the truth. You can't see it actually, it's a kind of, you become, you know it, you begin to know in that way of attention. Okay? So that's the kind of where you, so then what happens is that your idea of self as this body, that will go away. So that has to be done separately for some time. And that's where when you're doing that, the wisdom mind begins to work. Normally it doesn't work now, it's in the frontal cortex. So that when we have that kind of, that I have to be practiced separately. So I happen to, do this practice separately. I've been telling you a lot if I stop. So there are these 2 types of meditation separately, and it's very important. So this practice I happen to neglect, alright, as a young boy. So when somebody shouted also those days, I remember we used to be able to apply. It's not that just pretending, it's that you have this clarity so much, or you are focused with that Dhamma, that becomes just a sound and not you. So then, if you have that level of this thing, you are not making new karma. Whether it's your husband or wife, there are people telling me, when the husband is scolded, they will be able to apply like that. So actually people will stop scolding you, because when they don't see an inner reaction, so this has to be practically done. Alright, it's not just, so this is not really full clarity. When you try it like that, there are very, very strong moments of more deeper clarity. That is something I will tell you how to get there, where you have to clear your brain more and make the mind more steady and stable. There you might have something more divine or intuitive experiences, where you might even touch what Buddha wants you to touch as an experience. So these 2 practices I neglected. This practice, especially thinking, analyzing and contemplating, and reading the suttas and applying after ordination, this diminished. But of course what I already practiced was already there. When I was in a crisis, for example, I was in jungle one time, going from jungle to jungle, and my whole body was damaged, or you could say, there's poisonous leaves that I have been touching. So that created fever, and then I was found by some robbers. So when they arrested me, kept me there, if I didn't find them, you would not see me. This one occasion, I lost my life in 2004, when I was going from forest to forest. So that time also, when we have normally the practice of samadhi to suppress this feeling, concentration, but when you have a lot of pain, you can't get samadhi. That's why that it's so unreliable. When you're dying and you have pain, if you only develop samadhi or concentration, that might let you down. But if you have practice analyzing, contemplating, you can face the pain itself and analyze, contemplate. Okay? So that's practice I did in the forest at that time. When they looked after me, I wanted to make my mind peaceful. And at that time, I used actually Attanagalla Sutta, the No Self Sutta, to observe myself and then keep myself at peace. Alright? So then after, as a monk, when I went on like this, it's a narration and some teaching, okay? So then the samadhi increased more and not the wisdom, alright? The reading of the suttas also became less and less. So then when this yogi told me not enough, I did the same. I did more samadhi again, Little bit I try to do, because I take the books to Himalayas even before, like Samyutta Nikaya and all this. So I knew what to do, what to read. But 1 page, 2 page, I happen to go to Samadhi again. Because it makes you wait for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5th time. So then finally, I brought this, then when this yogi told me, I went and practiced more. And again, only 1 page, 2 page, maybe I read. I went back again. And like far away, he saw me, and like I thought it's like X-ray or something. I asked him, how is my practice? So he looked at me, and first he asked me, when did I come? And then I said, in the morning. And I asked, how is my practice? He looked at me and said something. I knew it's not, because, and he said, I will explain to you in the room, in the night. You meet me there. So before, that time when it was 50% only I practiced, according to them. Okay, according to their divine eye, whatever they see within our, like the type of positive energy or positive kusala karma or kusala thing, how much we have developed, we only saw still 50%. So before that also, it only 50%. And this time again, no, nothing, no development. I was wondering, I have done this so much. Then what, in the night when he met, he told me, your samadhi is good, and but you are analyzing meditation. He didn't say analyzing, but he said, know me meditation. Know me meditation is not enough. Then I understood immediately. Know me meditation means anatta, no self. Okay, and it comes from, so he would have known I have developed this, practiced this particular thing, and it's not been, developed, or it's not been practiced enough. And then he told me, this is the highest meditation. If you practice this, he said, he encouraged me, we'll have to search for you. Like that, he really encouraged me at that time. This was 2 years ago, 2023. And then what happened, I knew this, I must really stop this samadhi thing. I must, now really force myself. Then I went in Sri Lanka to one jungle, and in the jungle, I happened to practice, bring these suttas again, and with the suttas, I happened to read the sutta forcefully. Now reading, and I didn't even do it in such a way that I would, analyze, contemplate like before, but I kept just read fast. And we have, my teacher used to tell those days, when they, especially meeting monks, when I say my teacher, who inspired me when I'm a monk today, is a German monk. I don't know whether you're familiar. Have you heard that I was inspired by one German ascetic monk? It's called Gnanaloka Thero. He was not known in society very much, and there are some few, maybe now there are people are getting actually the internal practice, because he used to encourage, whenever he met monks, he used to tell if you want to attain attainment, read the Kanda Salayatana Varga. In the Samyutta Nikaya, many suttas that made monks arahant, there's a special section called Kanda Varga, Salayatana Varga. Okay, so he has an order where he gave and how to do it. So now I am giving it to all people. Not for monks or this one, because anyone who has the potential or this thing to attain what it is. We all want, that's the main thing. Buddha's teaching is not for getting cured from a disease or something, or getting into samadhi. It's actually attaining, I don't know if you have heard about Sotapanna, stream entrant to Nibbana. Okay? So this is the main things. If this is not happening, it's like a hospital, the main operations are not happening. Some Panadol and maybe some small tablets are being given. No. It is the main operation of our defilements, our consciousness, and they have to be activated, they have to be practiced and brought in, and there has to be transformation of people. People should become transformed. For more shiny people, at least, not with long face. This group is very good, I don't know. But sometimes even in Sri Lanka these days, when I see the big crowds, they are in a sort of a little bit, because they may have to struggle more in the worldly life as well. So he told me about this know me meditation. Alright? He told me, then I understood what he meant. Then I went and read in a forest in Sri Lanka, in that place. I forced myself, and I didn't do it like those days, contemplating, applying. I just read fast. Alright? When I went back, just reading fast, some things little understood, some things no. It's very repetitive, okay? Kanda Varga means entire section, like one sutta is 1 page. And that made one person Arahant, like this. So, Arahant, if I tell the term, they became completely enlightened. So, then I went and I met again, 80%. Then I knew, I'm on the right track. Okay. So I went back in Sri Lanka, and there's another section called Salayatana Varga, and I read fast, went back 120%. So then only gave me inspiration to, I must give this to the people. And there was an ashram that had been built, was being built for a long time, and so it became functional. And I started immediately the training of, 5 days and 10 days, but maybe 5 days is something I was forced to make, because you can't do it in 5 days actually. But I have mixed it with what those people told and what will happen in your brain, according to my belief in what they are telling is true, okay? That you will be definitely going out of the retreat. Again, I'll be promoting the retreat now, okay? So please, can't help it, I'm in that kind of mission now, alright? So when they leave out, like 5 days after, they will definitely get something. That means that will increase their, and any baby also can read, like even, so we know normally, even the chanting of Pali has cured cancer and all that. I have many experiences of that, and I also sometimes give some ways. People come to me with so many different unsolved problems. So there is that power in that, but getting the meaning out of it will remove the cause of your problem or the defilements, to bring wisdom out. So this is the main one, how to use the suttas as the original time for the enlightenment, how it's applied, and actually not really so much so fast. They are a way of contemplating, especially walking meditation. This is something I teach quite a bit in the 5-day also. And then I have to force them to read fast also, because I know that they'll be getting something if they do that. So, but that is a very unique one. Now, one of the gentlemen told me also, who organizing, Bante, if you can explain that, because people are reading suttas here everywhere. But how to, there's Sati Sambojjhanga, have you heard? Dhamma Vijaya Bojjhanga. How to be in the present moment and then to empty your mind. That is one practice you have to develop separately. And then to have the analyzing, contemplating of the Dhamma. So this is something we have to do, because we are now in the society, if you have ever done meditation, in the society it's very popular, the techniques, which is from Burma, I don't know about Thailand, but mainly from Burma, even Goenkaji's, I have said that has really served a lot for so many in the whole world. So they are all technique, that is good, that will help you practically to get somewhere. But we made the Buddha's teaching a technique, Buddha's original teaching. It's like so many techniques. These techniques are also brought from that. Okay, there's so many techniques. So, taking the original Buddha's teaching, according to my understanding, from that only you get the right level of wisdom. Okay, so some of the technique base I feel, this is my personal, I don't want to tell it as a definite this thing, I feel the wisdom is not enough, because observation is closer to the physical gross body or gross sensation. Okay, so it's easily observed and easily practiced, but closer to the body means closer to the hindrances. You know the hindrances? Have you heard? Sensual desire, anger, which is actually this reptilian brain. Alright. So when the reptilian brain for sex or for food, when they are the most, you could see where it's active. So that's why so many rules are given, and this thing to slowly bring your brain where the frontal cortex can work really sharp and strong. So this is very important, where this is enhanced separately, and then you don't try to understand the Buddha's words. It should just become apparent. That's how it should be, read. And there are visions in those words. In those, you have a vision, the vision of understanding that can come. It might just look an explanation like Sabbe Sankara Anicchati or something like that, just one word like that. The ability to ponder on it and to just be with the thing, that one has to separately increase or develop. So this is something that I actually I would like to main thing that I wanted to give. So in the retreat we started like that, 5 days, and then 10 days, whoever wants to do that, at least 15 days is necessary. So sometimes I have this very interesting situation. Now people have heard I've been to Himalaya, this, that. Some come. Once I remember in one of the retreats, one gentleman was there. I knew he was not focusing on anything. He was looking at me and moving around and not reading the book. So I happened to do the program, and I normally go. I don't interact too much with anyone. So in that situation, one day, finally after about 2-3 programs, program means 2-3 meeting sessions, he finally, when I was leaving, he gave me a letter. So I took the letter and I went. And then he has written, Bhante, I was very disappointed in my stay here, because I thought you will call me and explain my about 9 lives back. You will explain where I was born, and I wanted to know, and what will be my future. And like that, he tells so many things, and his experience also in the Himalaya, in the monasteries he has been here and there. But he doesn't know. Of course, that my other brother, I would say yogi, he goes and does that, and he gives some solution. But this retreat, I see 7 lives karma. I think not only 7 lives, they are all clearing. The medicine is given immediately. If they really do this and go, not waiting what karma you did, not waiting this thing, already it's a clearing process is given in all that. Because wisdom is awakened, awareness is awakened, and our karma is normally said is written in our forehead. Okay, in India, and I don't know how much experience you have. In Rishikesh, he passed away recently. Some of the lines here, it shows your periods of your time, life. And he actually have told me there are times where he told me, at this time, Bhante, not Bhante used to call me, Swamiji, you will not have time to even come to Rishikesh or anywhere. And so 2017, when I was going all over, I remember him. Oh, so actually they see karma. They have that. See, in India it's it's written in the forehead, okay? In the forehead only you have ability to change your karma. By awakening awareness, especially the wisdom eye. The wisdom eye, the moment you're reading and applying, you're changing how you're reacting with anger, greed, and your perception is changed. So the way you react will also be changed. Okay. So anyway, after that, only I started all that. Now I went to story part. That's a very important part I must touch regarding consciousness. Because we have Panchupadaskhanda, 5, we call it, what we are made up of. Alright? We have a body and we have a consciousness. In the consciousness, we have, according to Buddha, he explains, we have certain factors in the consciousness. One is feeling, other one is perception, and other one is what we perceive, the way we react. That's called sankhara. Okay? So if we react only in thought, it will become mind sankhara. If we speak with that, it's called word sankhara, and if we act, it becomes body sankhara. Okay, for these things only we get the idea of, we call it, we get a sense of who we are. We think this is me. Alright, to thin air we don't get the idea of I. Actually, I is an idea. It doesn't exist really. Alright, so when we really dissect or analyze or look into what is happening, then only we'll be noticing that. Alright, that's where self-realization comes, because to know there's no self is that realization. Okay, so anyway, before that I must tell you all, before I explain this part, even about karma you must be aware of it. How many of you think there's law of karma? How many of you think there's no law of karma? Or who are not sure? Not sure. You see, someone seem to answer all three. Okay, doesn't matter. Right. So, if anyone doesn't believe, I don't tell anyone to believe this also, But without making research and more thorough, because I know many who are in the Western world, actually I think most of you all are here, I feel are who have lost strong karma from the previous lives, even in this part of the world, to be drawn to Buddhism, drawn to Buddha's teaching. There's a big, more stronger than the ones who are locally or in Sri Lanka or Thailand, practically. Because there's that, like my teacher, for example, he was from Germany, and though his body was from Germany, he had that driving force towards, and he really did the practice to the end of his life. So karma is a very important thing for you to know. So for many people I tell, if they have some doubt or anything, to sort of read this book or Edgar Cayce. Have you heard of Edgar Cayce? Many mentions. It's a very nice book. It's about case studies. He was called the Miracle Man of Virginia because he used to diagnose people even far away who had diseases and incurable diseases. He used to even administer poison, and it worked. All right. So he used to go into an unconscious state, and then he used to explain. So he also don't know. One time this word came karma. And then it came that, like something that person had done during the Crusaders' time. That how this is happening right now. Even very interesting, I won so many case studies. There are some of my hedonistic classmates who have read this book and they just got a thought, I must become a monk. They were very bad classmates actually, partying all the time. But for some reason they happened to get hold of this book, at least the thought. But I think they messed up too much with their life, that even they wish like that is not easy. They are not karma, that's another problem. So they try to escape, but friends and other things will come back and take them in the other direction. So, in this one story I remember, just in New York or somewhere, there's one lady who she was very spiritual, as well as the way she earned her living was by showing her, for advertisements, her beautiful hand. And for ornaments and all that for advertisement, jewelry. So what happened, to see, the reason she's so spiritual was that many lives back, she has been a nun. That was the reason. And the reason she got that beautiful hand was she cleaned in the nunnery or whatever place, she cleaned the toilets with so much faith, without any gap filling, So I can just imagine, yeah. So like this, there are so many stories about, it's very good to get an idea. And sometimes you have kept things in your mind, like not spoken out, but inside you have been resenting and so on. How that manifests. So it's very, very nice, very good, because it very clearly gives some feeling about sankhara. In the Paticcasamuppada, in the Buddha's condition, condition links, the karma is you can get a picture very more tangible way, or more vivid or more clear way. So I want you to have this knowledge also. There's no point otherwise, because regarding consciousness, karma, these things go together. This is like I told So these people is kind of the technology of consciousness. And these things you have to know the building blocks, and then your thinking goes around where how this works. So consciousness and the rebirth also is connected. Consciousness is the way you can explain rebirth, as well as how the karma also explains rebirth. Alright? So before I go to these other topics, I want to tell you now to realize this truth as a personal experience. You have to improve your intuitive ability. That means you have to clear your mind. Like it is said, like if you have water and you have dye in the water, can you see your reflection? Like if you have a lot of sensuality in your sensual thoughts, you can't see your face, the reflection. If the water is bubbling, with the boiling, then also you can't see. So if anger, irritation, so that's how it is taken as the hindrances. Alright? So if your mind is free from hindrances, you will see things as they are. That's why I tell you must do that separately in your life to clear your mind and keep it bright. And separately you must read the Buddha's teaching. Don't try to understand the teaching. Like your face with all the dye or boiling water, you try to look at it, you will see some reflection, but it's not a real experience of seeing final actual as it is. But if it's really clear, that sight will be very clear. You are not struggling. Same way, those words of the Buddha. That's why he waited actually. The Buddha need to see the people and their mind, and they waited until they were mature. Then only he revealed some of these teachings. Then immediately, so we don't have like that, but at least we have those teachings where it can happen to us if we properly keep on patiently applying those things for some time. Okay? So before I want to give you an idea, I normally tell people should, you could say that do their work without getting tired. Actually, I really like to ask some questions from you all, and then it will entertain me also a little bit. This is all so boring for me, like program after program. Let me try to quickly finish this, okay? And then we go for some questions. I want to. So the very important thing I want to tell is I will just give you an explanation of the consciousness. Alright? How far you have known up till now. How to recognize. You have a dead body normally, okay, or unconscious body. Okay, you say you're unconscious. Then you have just the body, the flesh body. Okay? How do you know you have consciousness? You see, the consciousness, one main thing that you know that you're conscious is when you start to feel. Okay. And perceive. Of course, as feeling, then perception automatically follows. Perceive and then you react. Okay, say someone hit you, you become unconscious. How do you know you become conscious? When you're conscious, slowly, maybe you open your eyes slightly, you'll feel, you'll recognize the person, and maybe you want to punch him or you want to run away. Right? That's called reaction. Okay, if you only think, it will be mind reaction. If you verbalize, go away. Or if it's be word, verbally you'll be reacting, and if physically, if you try to move away, it will be physical reaction. So this type of reaction with anger or with attachment is becomes karma. Okay? If you only think, it will become mind karma. If you do verbally, it will become word karma. If you act, it will become body karma. So in Edgar Cayce, this case study is very interesting. The way they have thought in the past also, it's very interesting how you have a peculiar relationship with things, with your family, sometimes with the office, working places. This will be very interesting. Long years ago I read it, but now I tell people to go through that because that's very important for them to get if they want to get one enlightened and to get a full, this is background right view, to know rebirth, know about karma. This is basic knowledge, but it's not to blindly believe. This is some way to, by inference, you can know. This does happen. So in consciousness we can take slow motion also. You have the ear and an object, say sound waves. So these two are material, alright? So initially when these two are there, there's something, say something happen, alright? So there's normally, it's called manasikara or reflection, attention. This attention, the ear and the sound. These three coming together, it has when they come together, if they're really connected, then there is this feeling, a sensation. And there's something that measures that sensation as pleasant, unpleasant and neutral. That is called perception. The sensation is called feeling. Measuring the sensation is called perception. If it's perceived as pleasant, there's something that happens in the mind, in the consciousness, is reacting with greed. It's unpleasant with hate. And if it is neutral, if you just wait without fully aware what is going on, it will be delusion. So this greed, hate, delusion, reaction is karma. Okay? I'm giving some heavy stuff, okay, but I'm trying to familiarize because it's not so heavy. I'm trying to make you think that will make you enlightened one day. You have been thinking so many things, your subjects, physics, chemistry, biology, economics, business management, this, that, engineering. Okay, why not think this now? This will give you inner peace and it will bring you final stop to your search for everything. Okay? I don't regret I didn't complete my university degree, or I also neglected the job I did. One time I thought if I neglected this, I would have regretted. Definitely. So, because this is unfulfilling, even my parents, my father, pursuing all that, I say finally he has to come to, he really appreciated these things and informed. So anyway, this consciousness, so now you have some idea. You have the body. According to Buddha, he doesn't look at it in terms of atoms or neutrons or this thing. They look at it in terms of the elements, hard natures, watery nature, like that. All right, heat, temperature, and then so these four elements, air, and so on, movement. So these are the four elements how the Buddha looked. For one purpose, you see that what is outside with that nature and what is in this space, there's no difference. So that way your attachment and ego will be lost or reduced. He has a purpose in his wisdom because he knows he wants to remove the suffering in your life. So suffering is mainly due to attachment, craving. And with craving there is that ego, the sense of I arising. So when craving decreases, I also decrease automatically. There are some of my, like I would say, my taxi driver in Sri Lanka, auto rickshaw, he's a Tamil boy. Sometimes he talks with the, that tuk-tuk. You know tuk-tuk? You have here? In America? Maybe in Indonesia, everywhere they have, right? Tuk-tuk. Alright. So, he talks with that. So actually, he's so attached to his vehicle, he made an identity out of it. So this can happen, how the identity comes with attachment. Okay, more stronger, like especially to your family, it's more stronger. You feel that body, this shape is that person. Because that's my mom, that's my father, because of the attachment. So this is very important that your five element, this body is made out of that, and then you have the consciousness, feeling, perception, and so on. Okay. There's one book was given to me by one professor in LA. So anyway, he's also studying a lot about consciousness. I've finished studying consciousness, so I'm trying to realize whatever I realized again more. It's like it's more trying to relate all these many books written. It's good. It's still trying to relate it to the body, very much to the body. That is still rising. So if it is only understood where you can perceive from the body, then one is ready to accept. That will never happen. It's like you can't ever know consciousness that way. It's through wisdom you can know about consciousness. And you will know there are times I know in my own practice, there are some glimpses of it that like my consciousness is only me, you can't experience it. It's like we are separate two worlds. And you get that idea. Due to karma now, we also now, we are just passing by, even your family, all these things you are thinking, we are there together. As long as karma is there, you are having that, vicinity of, being connected or able to experience each other. But otherwise, it's just you are going alone in this universe. Okay? Do you feel that? You can get some idea about it. So anyway, so this is very important. So normally I will come to this very deep one. I will then try to go into something more interesting. This is very interesting but very heavy. Normally my teacher explains to me when I am very peaceful. But I am making it familiar to you all so that the type of thinking you must be doing when you read the original teachings, what you'll be analyzing, that you to make you familiar already. So that it's like a small sample, because that's my purpose for you, to go to the Buddha's original teaching one day, at least get it near your bedside, and start, and then learn to analyze the teaching, the Dhamma. That will bring the right, slowly try to bring the Yoniso Manasikara. Have you heard of Yoniso Manasikara? No. That's the main factor that will make you a stream entrant or glimpse Nibbana. Okay? That's Yoniso means from the source you learn to intuitively. You learn to analyze, contemplate. Okay? So from the source of things, what is the original cause of things? Like that you learn that type of analysis, very unique, which makes you to get that intuitive vision or experience of the phenomena of life, which will make you experience what Buddha wants you to Nibbana. Alright? So one of the things when you do those exercises, when your brain starts to work in that direction, those faculties that are, that are going to work in your brain, they are called enlightened faculties. Okay? So the first one is called mindfulness enlightenment. Okay? So that is, even when you pay attention to the present moment and so on, they start to develop. And then the other one is Dhamma Vijaya Pujjami. That's the very important one. It's called then analyzing the Dhamma. That is where now I'm going to explain something, how, when you think like that, you're beginning to analyze the Dhamma. It's not my teaching or something. There's an area where you must keep your thinking, which will bring that enlightened factor. So when you're doing that, you might see suddenly clarity. There you might become enlightened. That's what we must get to. So here, I will just to give a background, this thing to explain this. When we die, have you heard that we have a last thought? And then we have another thing, the last, what we have? Last breath. Okay, have you heard? Last breath, and then a last thought. You all want to make our last thought good. Okay, that's why we bring priest and everybody doing everything during the whole life. And then the last moment we want to pass the exam. Anyway, to the so unknown mystery of death. Okay? My teacher gives a very shorter way of explaining this just to make me familiar, but anyway, I make it more elaborate. So normally, even to this program for you all to come, did you hear from somebody? How many days back? One? A week ago. Okay. So when you heard, what did you feel? Suddenly you felt like coming or what? Yeah, okay. So what happened? Why? Is there other people who heard and they didn't feel like coming, or what do you think? Do you have some friends or family people? Maybe, okay. So this is karma that you hear. Okay? You hear something, it's karma. The urge to come is a desire you have. So you have some karma with me. Okay. So karma in the sense, not in the negative sense, I hope not. So it is that karmic process. So you have to see me more now sometimes, so that you first heard and you get the urge to go. Maybe you heard something about Himalaya, this and that. So you felt like, oh, maybe I can get something from this monk. So anyway, these are two things that has to be there for something to, just to give an idea. So when death happens also, you don't get a last thought just by your choice. Okay? Based on the karma you have to read on thing, that object will come. Okay? And then you will feel distracted because you have that desiring nature still. These two go together, then you get focus. So another important thing you must know, that the consciousness to arise, it needs conditions. Okay, we just now told it needs an object, it needs an ear, and then, for example, then you have to focus. So that focusing, and because of desire we have, and we focus like that, so then it connects, consciousness arises. Last moment also, there's a moment of consciousness. Okay. So now, what karma you have accumulated mostly, like as lay person, normally what is your main area? Your family is the main area, and your working place is another main area. Okay? These are the places where we normally interact. Alright? Unless we are developing some special meditation where we can really be detached from these areas, that's another thing I will tell you. Okay? But normally we feel attracted to some way, a good boss, a good colleague, or we feel repelled by an angry boss, an angry colleague, or very jealous colleagues, or what, I don't know. So in the family also, like that, we react to attachment and vidhi. So we make karma in the sensual world. Okay? So the dying time, if we have only lived like that normally, it's a possibility we will get a thought related to, but that type of karma we have accumulated. So it is most probably you might remember a mother or a friend or a very close interaction. That becomes an object for consciousness to arise. Okay? Because there's this thing and then the karma, and then karma means we still have nature to react. So with this present, we react, that means attention, then the conditions are there for consciousness, so consciousness will arise. So if we have sufficient, there are so many other things, so I make it very simple. Because in the rebirth process, sometimes people are not supporting good karma to give a clear rebirth. So then they are remaining in a kind of, so there are situations where I don't know whether you have, if you do research about this, you find that like you have like they call it interim, but I call it it's another rebirth itself. It's not, so now normally you're seeing several wombs in that plane of after death. So you see a mother, so you begin to go there, it's like burning. Then you see a kind of heat, you feel heat, you feel uncomfortable. Then you see maybe an elephant or dogs, beach, the womb, you feel easily comfortable. You get it, some idea how karma makes you, so it's comfortable for the person. The rebirth happens like that. So, but in this life, we are assuming now someone who has done some good deeds, and so last moment he will get the thought like that in the sensual world. Okay? So when the last breath goes, do you think such a person will be able to look at the last breath as it goes away, or he will be distracted by a thought like that? What do you think, a normal person? You think it happens to you? No, don't say yes. Like I want you to think, and what do you think?
It depends.
Sorry.
So if that person is sick, I'm not too sure whether he can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we say he's not sick,
yeah,
and he's dying, you look at him in these terms. Two things: he has karma first, and he has desiring nature. All right, he's unenlightened. So in such a case, what do you think? He'll be distracted, or he can really keep his attention to the last breath? Distracted. Okay. So that means there are conditions for consciousness or not? There will be conditions for consciousness. Let's keep it simple. I guess that's good. So then, have you heard about anagami, the non-returner? The non-returner means the stage of sainthood, where no karma in the sensual world, no desires in the sensual world, the five sense world. So the last moment, actually, so such a person, when he dies, he has to go to another world and complete. That's why it's called, but he doesn't come to this plane. That's why it's called non-return. So such a person, such a saint, when the last breath goes, do you think you can focus, or do you think you'll be distracted by something? Sorry? Just look at him. Do you think he's completely free from desires and karma? What do you think? What? No. Okay. Then what karma he has and what desires he has? Okay. He has no desires for the sensual world. But does he have desire for any other feelings? Peaceful feeling, okay? Pleasant feelings. And he has karma in the Brahmaloka. Okay?
He could be a bodhisattva, but he still has desire.
Yeah. So, but the rebirth process, just to have an idea how it happens, so he has how the consciousness works. Just to have an idea, he has desire for feelings, still peaceful feeling, and he has karma in that direction. So he gets distracted. So what happened? He's distracted to a feeling means the conditions for consciousness is there or not? And consciousness will arise, right? So think of the fully enlightened being who has no desires for anything whatsoever. Okay? Just think it happens to you. And when the last breath is going, you have no karma, no desires whatsoever. Will you be able to keep to the last breath? Just imagine if you just kept like that. Will there be conditions for consciousness? And my teacher used to warn me, after he explains this, is deep. And I also warn you, is deep. Okay? It can be realized. So this thinking, this how it works, the conditioned nature. So one day if you happen to read, contemplate the Buddha's teachings, okay, don't read. Okay, in the books, what is recorded, this will help you to think. Learn how to think. Because not to think too much, to break down too much, there are like explanations given. Or even this speech and all that is, don't go to this. I'm telling you, you go directly to the Buddha's teaching. Okay, there you learn. Initially it's difficult because it doesn't digest. You like me more than the Buddha, because I digest easily. Buddha is 2600 years ago. This is how I felt when I was in the jungle. When I had some glimpses, or I would say some clarity, I realized, oh my God, like 2500 years ago, that Buddha, and now is different Buddhism. This I felt real. When I was a young boy, my teacher. Then I knew we need to be brainwashed, from all this conditioning of ideas and all that, to originally touch that wisdom. Okay? So these are actual experience of my own life as a young yogi. I didn't know I'd go so fast now to become old man. But in that time, it's so very clear in my mind. So I hope, so now I'll come, actually what I said now in the beginning, I'm coming to tell in the end, and we go for questions. Alright? I hope the train is not going to go now. Some people have come from far away. Normally I give something before I go. Small thing from my heart. Alright? But if you can stay, if you are going, just come to the window or tell that, because I don't want anyone of you to miss anything. Anyway, normally I tell about, how to do things without getting tired. That's very important. You have to change your lifestyle. So what is distracting you and, addictions, you have to overcome. It's no point, all this talk and all this listening, all this reading or, coming, if you don't change your life, because my purpose is also that you all become enlightened. It's no point otherwise. Because we are going to face death, we are going to face old age. In such a time, we should be able to, really blissfully experience these realities. Just now today, I told one of my, who dropped me, I told him, you will leave everything which is dying, and leave everything which is dying, you might not die. If you don't associate what dies or what decays, in this life itself, you'll be watching death. You will not be death. I hope that will happen to all of you. Okay? Make sure as a human being we can pursue that. While we are living also, we'll be able to watch our own bodies, our feelings from outside if we train more and more of that. Okay? So, normally I tell people, they have to be very careful in the modern time. The main sensual things are very disturbance to this practice. To have a sharp mind, to get wisdom mind. So today I see the main distraction, I don't know whether I'm right, the phone. The phone connects you so much to the external world, the sense world, than more than us, but when we were in those days. So, of course, for practical reasons, you have to use it for maybe GPS and all that other thing, but they're so addictive, it can just take your time. And I have noticed that so much dopamine is the thing, even through YouTube and all these other this thing. That's why we can spend more time longer, and we don't want to read and so on. Okay, so that is going to really practically damage. If you want to get that wisdom as a personal experience, this is not going to happen to you. So you have to recognize it, and people who have developed even materially, you find that they have some discipline. I've got to know that they have a good lifestyle. At least early morning when they get up, they don't sleep so late, or they have a routine, and they have learned to empty their mind. Even I don't know whether it's consciously or unconsciously. Some of the billionaires and who have been successful, I got to know that they when they get up, they don't just get up from the bed. They just stay for some time and sort of think of the things very important for them to do that day. So actually they rewire their thing. It's a big exercise. It seems very simple. Otherwise what we do is normally tomorrow, what a procrastination, what is it that word? So this to break that way, these things we have to do. If you have this kind of thing and read the Dhamma, try to practice, try to be enlightened, I don't think it becomes practical. And I don't want you to fail, I don't want you all to one day regret, this birth, I wish I achieved this. Okay? So make sure that whatever life Dhamma did now, no more. Some I have met for a long period, so whatever I could give, I gave them. Anyway, so this is very important, I hope, and I got to know that short videos, like doom scrolling, am I right? This word. Tick, 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 So because you are more attracted to short videos because there's more dopamine in that. So you have to be really at games. I don't have to tell, the suicide cases, how the spirit world gets open. I have told before programs how addictions, and it will open up some negative destinies in you. Those days I explain a lot about it, so people get an idea. So this week you have to be very careful. And your children, I think until 18, at least the parents must be, they should be supervising. They must, for their studies, they might have to use. So at least, or if they have to take it to school, where they cannot not operate any other thing, except for that you have to put some locks or whatever. Otherwise your duty is not performed properly, I think. And expose them to spiritual things. I hope spiritual things can become more. I normally see my programs like rock concert, that's what I want to make. So that positive energies are brought in, and automatically, people get a push start towards their spiritual journey. Okay, so that is very important. I explained, I remember one girl, small girl. The mother wanted me to meet her. Actually, I know her from small age. She was a very special being. I know already her birth was very special. Like someone I would say would go on the spiritual path one day in a very special way. But even such people, such small children, they have their dark times, dark periods. So she had such a time, and the mother wanted me to meet her. And when she was coming to meet me, the mother asked, "Daughter, have you taken a bath?" I was wondering, why she asked that. And later on, she came and told me everything, because she was actually sent to all this, I think they are very poor people in Sri Lanka. But the father was thinking very high, not according to their means, so sent this girl to these international schools. And in those schools, one of the sleepover, she happened to go, in a wrong way. And after that, it triggered certain sleepovers and all that, because the parents don't know anything about these things, so they think it's all very good. And I am very happy she is very polished and with good English and can communicate well. But they didn't know that there's a darker side in these international schools or this Western civilization. So anyway, so what happened? She actually she happened to got addicted with the phone. She told me everything. She didn't tell anybody. She told Bhante, I used to use this phone, and then I can't tell you here. I hope you can guess. She happened to see what is not suitable to be seen at that age. And then recently, she was getting a smell around her of, poo or feces. So that's why the mother also knows about it. That's why she had asked whether she took a bath before she came. Even she takes a bath, it doesn't go away. I can understand what it is, because it opens up those dimensions and those beings. Now we have Buddha tells also, when we are practicing virtue, when you are controlling, disciplining and having pure thoughts, you have an order of scent going from your body, okay, to the Brahmaloka, to the higher realms. So it should happen the other way also. If you have negative emotions activated too much, though you have a human body, your brain is working in a very strong demonic or and if you have bad karma destiny, if they settle down, then you have a very rebellious, and there are all of these people that are behind these visible forces. Also karma is there. That's why they're exposed to spiritual things. This likely they are protected, as well as if they have these things, this might clear very fast. So this is very important. So this is just to show the danger, damage, and just to be aware of it. And the other thing I want to talk about is whenever you have a emotion or a thought, or especially you say anger or like a negative emotion, you have got of adrenaline hormone is created in your body. Okay, so now this adrenaline hormone, what does it do? It makes you have those thoughts again. Alright, so there's an interrelation between the thought you got and the body, the chemistry you are experiencing, and then it creates that thought again, like that. Okay. So one of my teachers, or one of my another teacher, he passed away. We used to a little bit explain this. So if you have if you do some spiritual things or be peaceful, and actually now normally a strong emotion, one of the emotions are sexual urge. And then for food, of course, for drugs and all that is another thing. So there are substances that are created in our body with that, which makes us, compulsory have these thoughts again. So now, the teacher used to tell that if you have to a certain extent created dispassionate thoughts, wisdom thoughts, okay, and devotion thoughts, then also something should happen in your adrenaline, something should be created. So he named it that time minus adrenaline. Okay, but I got a name that time called Ojas. I don't know if you heard this term, Ojas Tejas. He seemed to know all these terms. It's Ayurvedic this thing. It's actually related to when you're developing spiritual things, or actually spiritual means you could say related to faith, concentration of the mind, strengthening of the mind. Ojas is created. That's also something that goes to your brain, travels towards the brain and opens up areas of the brain which were not open before, and then get deposited. And then they create those good thoughts, positive thoughts, energetic thoughts in you. So later on, it becomes easier and your body begins to change. And wisdom, especially when you're reading and contemplating, one very specific thing is created. I don't know if you know about Tejas. More potent than Ojas. So it shows in your aura actually. Your aura has a very clear aura, as well as your skin begin to shine. Then I tell people don't need to use Nivea. You know about that color. I was really surprised in one of the pharmacy recently because I was sick. I don't know whether you all know, about 4 months I was suffering with the viral this thing, and just I'm recovering, still strength enough to give speech like this. Then only I came here. Don't worry, the virus is gone. Okay. So what happened? In the pharmacy, I saw collagen. Am I right? I saw that it shines the skin, strengthens the nails, hair. I was wondering what this is because I have only one way by good character, and this thing you create this physical. Then I realized there's some cream or something for this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I can imagine it could be like my finance controller when I was doing auditing. This lady. Those days I had a practice of not looking at any ladies. Like one of the meditation practices when I'm walking and so on. As a layman, right? Many years back. So I had to look at my finance control. If she's coming, she's one of my bosses. And I remember I used to be very observant. She had lipstick and everything, but looks so dead. It's like some plastic this thing you put all these things, Really you can see no aura, no life. And I can imagine what she's up to there. So those days I used to notice these things. So I'm just trying to tell you all, good character, it will create shining skin. So I normally when ojas goes too much, a lot, it creates a shine in your cheeks and forehead. So don't lose that shine. You may have black skin, white skin, brown skin, whatever, but you have that charming, attraction. So that comes with character. You must, even how much you take bath or whatever you do, it won't clear like that. So, but if you build up, so you have baby skin also. Okay? I'm telling you some now. I'm sure there will be critics telling Bhante is, promoting cosmetics. So baby skin means soft skin. You don't look like a rough person. You understand? You do rough things, you become rough. Some exceptions are there. They are looking smooth people who are doing great crime. But generally I'm talking about. Okay, generally to encourage you all to be more beautiful. All right. So, but if you do like that, that's very important to remove all your addictions and be careful. And daily when you start, early morning you must have a routine where you make yourself empty with compassion meditation, or and with that, or anapanasati. And when you go out, you must know a main meditation is called Indriya Samvara, where you don't look at the details. Okay, you're careful what the inputs you go put through your senses. That will reduce your monkey mind. Alright? And when you're driving, to feel the seat, this is mindfulness parts you have to develop. And feel the steering wheel. If you really do these things, and improve those attention, that means you learn to bring your attention to the moment more. Okay? Then the stress mind will definitely reduce, and you will have a wonderful time living. Peace will start to enter your mind, in your activities. Alright? So I think this is not because you're busy or this thing. You're not mastering these practices. So you live a wholesome life, in this life. So the other side is you will not feel tired when you're working. That means mentally you are able to keep it in the present moment and so on, and not unnecessarily stimulate where anger, greed and all these other things will come if you keep your senses too much, open, unnecessary. So what you need, just to perform your duty, you learn to look, like if you're crossing, you learn to see the vehicles, but you don't see who is inside the vehicle. Alright? Like this example. This is a very big sila. It's called, she said monks practice, actually it's called Kotyak Samara. It means infinity number of sila monks supposed to practice. It's this, the senses, they don't look at details actually. Now I can look at you fully, I see your details. I look at you from a side like, no details. It's just an example. So this as a yogi, because this will help you. That is one practice. The other one is present moment awareness. That is when you're walking, just pay attention to just the ground, what you're immediately seeing. Don't do too much thinking to things, what you're going to do after some time. Your mind will run because you are not trained to do like that. So you remind again to just look at the simple things. It will go again, just remind again. Then you will get the art, you are properly, that will help you to have peace and your mind will not feel tired. Okay, and you will perform well when you come to the actual thing next to be done. Your faculties will be sharper to do things. Okay? That is important, you must develop if you want to. And then read these books. In the morning, the metta meditation and anapanasati, then reading. Just put an analyzing meditation into it. So that maybe an angry boss or angry other something happens and you apply and see what you have seen from them. You go for the questions, okay? Otherwise, anyone in question? I'm sorry, there are none here. One of them. Did I come to your place first? I don't know.
Yes, that before.
Which one? I stayed in that kuti, or did I visit just for a few hours?
Yes, I visited for a few hours at Dhamma Monastery, and then you went to Attanagalla Hermitage.
One night I stayed?
One night in the kuti
Okay.
there, yes. I met you at that time, but...
If you remove your thing, I recognize. Oh, I recognize.
I had hair and I was wearing white.
Okay, okay, good. You're like great, in this part of the world. It's like a strong karma with the Buddha and teachings, for sure. And I remember I met several of them. I gave a small thing. Any questions? I don't know. I can help you.
I have some question. Okay, if you come to the point that you already control the anger boss, you mean the anger inside of you, you already calmed down. What is the next step from that?
That's a long way ahead. So you can't, the anger, tell you honestly, from the age of 18, some experience I had, as I told you regarding these insights. I think I would have been a old monk striving many years before life, and the results came this life. So after that, actually anger was not there, I would say. And later on, sensual desire I had struggled, to tell you honestly, very much. And even as a monk, later on also it just came behind me. Now maybe I'm now old and it's okay. But I'm not going to be relaxing in anything. I can see you have to put this wisdom and everything continuously. But this anger thing, I remember, it was really, then it came to a point like maybe, say 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8, if I say maximum 8 years back maybe, that I would count, it's accountable, times that mentally I know I felt like tight, and it was mostly with taxi drivers in India. Okay. They were trying to cheat or something, and just press my button. And I used to count the few. It's not only India, all over, even Sri Lanka. I have karma with the taxi driver. So that happened. And actually, tell you honestly, recently I'm having too much activity now. Too much activity means I generally definitely keep my general meditation, because my activity is related with sharing what I'm experiencing. Or I can't go without the meditation or what I'm doing. And this I'm doing as the duty part, but anyway, I've been with a lot of activity. And also I've been suffering from this viral thing and so on. So, like someone who are close to this thing, if they did some, especially I felt they're not honest or did something, this thing, I have reacted, which didn't happen. So I think it's more of a tired mind. It has happened. So it will not go, I think, the removing of anger is not by compassion, I see, even from those days. It is by desire. Desire is, and what is the root of desire? Is delusion. Okay? So this wisdom more got into this wisdom, and the wisdom become more experiential. then I'm sure this will go automatically. So mustn't worry in other ways how to remove the the symptoms of the problem. It's really, I think you should put these things more, the perceptions of you could say more of, I would say Dhamma, Yoniso Manasikara, and practice more. Then when clarity of Dhamma more comes, you're opening up another world of wisdom. Then this will go away automatically. I don't know, do you get the answer? It's okay?
It very much so. So I need to go focus on Dhamma to improve myself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you can also watch what you attach to. That's the reason. The cause is always somewhere you're expecting or something like that. And you will know specifically like you will not get angry or this thing. You can't say one is free from it. You'll be free from it when you're free from attachments. So it will be there in your latent nature. Now I could see that it came up in my this thing. Now it's a little bit, I more than uncountable into that in my thoughts and
You mean if you're free from anger, you will free from attachment automatically?
Sorry?
You mean if you're free from anger, you will free from attachment?
No. Sorry. If you have to free from attachment for the anger to disappear. Attachment is the cause of anger actually. Normally we think anger is so we have compassion and trying to know. If you reduce your attachment, the way the person gets angry, we can know the person's attachments.
Yes, sir.
So the attachments, how to remove them? It is from removing our delusion. More awareness, realization of the truths of the Dhamma, and getting the Dhamma perceptions about the ultimate nature of things. That is, I think, that will look after everything. So reading important, that is good company, Buddha's company.
Yes.
And not only reading, I have never found, actually, I'll tell you honestly, I don't want to name places. I was really thinking, somewhere I find that they will see the power of this book as it is. I mean, the Buddha's original teaching, that it has no need explanation, that they are taken as meditation object. So this is how we did it with my teacher. He used to tell us to read this sutta, and then we went and practiced. And when we went through that made an impact. That means those words gave us insights while we walk in meditation. Then we actually respected our teacher, but we knew the master is like ocean here. He's alive. So I think this must happen. You must have like a session of meditating. That means emptying your mind with compassion or anapanasati, and then a session of reading in your daily practice, contemplating, and also some mindful activity, maybe arms round to the hall or something like that. If you have a balanced practice, I think things will really. Because now other problem I noticed that in the old times, my teacher used to tell some monks, especially some desires they could overcome. And they sometimes blame the places they were there, and so on. There's something wrong with here, and they started moving from place to place. Actually, very senior monks those days. So he was a young monk. This was in 1950s and so on. Island Hermitage, do you know? Island Hermitage in Sri Lanka. It was in that place. So those monks, they happened to go, but he told they also had a lot of problems, issues with desire, which was not, and they didn't know how to deal with it. So he told us this balanced practice where you have to have periods where you're sweating and some activity. Nobody can sit for long. It's not general for everybody to just sit in this thing all day. So to have that practice and then reading session, and not the reading as a study, as applying and then walking meditation, contemplating that, and then sitting meditation where you have where you do samadhi only with compassion or anapanasati. Like that, if you do, definitely something should happen.
That's what I did, anapanasati.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
But I like the suggestion of breathing. Can give me more drama, more knowledge.
Okay, I tell you honestly, I don't have personal experience through anapanasati of getting, but reading the sutta,
Yes.
especially like the Kanda, Salayatana, Nidana, Samyutta, and then in the walking meditation, that's what I'm promoting, I'm trying to give, which I know very clearly how it could be done, and so that's something, how the walking meditation especially can be done, used for contemplating. That one, I see people are not very familiar how to do it properly. Because when they come to walking meditation, they come to the feeling, or like how the touch is happening and so on. So it's a very technique based,
Right.
not the thinking of the Dhamma, the contemplative walking meditation. So this is something I'm trying to tell, because I think, according to my personal idea, that insights or clarities that come is not strong enough to reach what the Buddha wants, this is, so that thinking must be not, that thinking is not enough, or analyzing, contemplating is not enough. Someone contemplating too much also, that's another problem. So then you have to learn to balance it.
Thank you so much.
My answers are long. Yes.
One thing I would like to ask, for example, like one day just now you mentioned about you were in solitude practice for a long time. So recently, like you are more busy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Recently, you are more busy.
Recently, yeah.
Teaching.
Yeah.
And also sickness. So my question is that.
Sorry, outside they're not hearing. Sorry.
So my question is that if compared to previously you were in solitude practice, then recently you are more busy to having share your knowledge and experience to the public. What happened, for example, like you have perhaps like this year, you are tied with the schedule that have share with the public, and you have no time for your routine sitting meditation. So do you think like if whole year it happened in that way, you do not have time for your private practice?
And you see an angry monk.
But will it affect to maintain the spirituality, like what you have progressed up to that level in your solitude, and would it decrease?
Yeah, I tell you. It should never be in the expense of your now. When I'm coming here, I'm meditating. After I leave you, I'll be meditating. I'm not hanging around. Organizers know. Sometimes they'll have to wait. I also don't know which time I'll come out of my room. Because until basic practices I do, like there are like early mornings and afternoons, and that I'll be definitely doing. Not a single day that it will not happen. And I'm also not a speech actor. Unfortunately, I had to get into a kind of a Dhamma discourse type of, because this modern day was happening. I tell many people, I'm not a Dhamma preacher. We are yogis. So it's a different transmission of things. So definitely it's, never. It can never happen like that. I would be doing the general meditation. Now even maybe if I get a room or somewhere, I'll be there. And then doing those things, then coming out and doing the other part. So that more than what I speak, maybe if I come like this, very, very exhausted, this doesn't make sense, So I normally tell I put on my makeup and then I come. So this is very important, I think, because this I'm fulfilling a late thing, I would say. My teacher has told me long years back, so I'm waiting for the time. I was waiting for the time, even though my teacher said I was cautious, and so now I feel very distinct because I fulfilled. Sometimes some people say, now someone is angry with, I don't know, with anger or jealousy, I don't know what, but they better you go to jungle or something like that. I said, too much I stayed in the jungle, too much I stayed in the Himalayas. It's too much, and but never in the expense. You have to really see, now the ones who are training now, who are this thing, just like the way I went, no preaching, no teaching, nothing. They continue, because I would support them. I'm not going to bind with them in any long sure anytime, but if they want to get advice from me, I'm encouraging them because to develop, I would expect actually monks who are spiritually developed. Because we don't find any monks today like that. They are giving preachings and all that, but there's no mysticism in them. There's no pure force going out of them. So I don't see they themselves won't be liberated, or they can't liberate others. So I think at least if we have some monks or nuns or whoever practicing, that they are just focusing on themselves, and then they will see whether the calling is there for them to do some duty. And then as a fulfilling of a duty, you can get externally involved. But you must be very carefully, honestly clear, sort of finding the real, you could say, whether it's a real duty or whether it's something you're, lying to yourself, something like, you have to be careful with that. And you get the right answer if you're very sincere and honest what you want to do.
Actually, I put this question to Bhante. It's not only, I'm not asking Bhante about your self schedule, but it's online, where like, first year I was in the meditation center for like a year, that I could every day just do intensive meditation. But like this year I visited to the US, so the schedule is different, and it become like totally different because you are not playing your own schedule, and you couldn't like have arrange your time. Okay, what time only like I can have these few hours for the practice, like usual meditation, but the schedule is very different. So if it happened to somebody like that, you cannot cannot manage your own time where the schedule is arranged by other, perhaps. Then if it's come to a long time, like happen for a year, would it affect for the practice?
How long have you been out in?
12 years.
So now you must go full speed. So there are times where your life comes, our destiny comes, where we can't avoid some activity may come. We have to, then in that situation, keep your sila, very important. Keep the sila. So, and see when I quickly be free from this to do the practice. And take it with a positive, if you really have to, with a positive thing, maybe there are things you have to develop within you, facing that situation. And also really focus to not to 1 year, 2 years, some months or something. And then, like sometimes you might not get the blessings or support to do the next step. So then just focus on your practice and accept the reality there. Unless that situation where you are breaking a sila, you have to ask nobody, you can change that externally. But otherwise it's good to change within you to then a big meditation as you have achieved. Where you are able to even stay places where you don't like, or don't really, this is not the way you really wish for yourself. But don't allow it to go long, if you're really sincere, things will work out around you, where you will be able to do, more practice. They are both interrelated, nothing is coming, all that is coming is helpful to you. So, because it's created by you. So, sankharas in the past life, so you have to use it. And if you're really determined and sincere, you get time very quickly to work out. That's very important. It's up to you actually. It's not that something outside is holding you.
So,
Yes.
I have a question.
One.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Is the anger excused when there's dishonesty or like stealing in front of you? Like, is the anger excused if there's stealing in front of you?
No, I don't think. I think I made a mistake. I think you must be, because you can be firm. You must be firm, and you can be firm, but your anger is more worse than the stealing. I think. Yeah, sometimes I never justify that the animal brain never working for any reason. It's animal brain, right? Reptilian. We will have to work for it, right? Both of us.
Can you explain how to do walking meditation properly, the way you do it?
You're really interested?
Yes.
You got to join the retreat. I think you will be interested. In case you don't meet me, I will show you with my teacher how we do it. Okay? You all want? Or how is it?
Sorry.
Because, okay. We can't do it this now. I can't walk, right? Because I feel if you're really interested, so it's somewhere in the Pali, but in English you'll be reading, and you have to some idea. I've never done in a program like this, okay? I feel so distant because I sense something. Okay. Let's say when you get up like this, whatever has happened in the past is finished. The future has not arisen yet, okay? So it's Buddha tells Atitam Pahinantam. Past is gone. Anagata, the future has not come. Pachupannincha Dhammesu Tatatata Vipassati. So whatever has come to the present moment, that you pay attention. Okay? So you see your body standing, alright? Kayam Ananta Adino Avaso Sabbaroga Ruksha Moro. The body is full of affliction, Adino. Sabbaroga, full of diseases. You must visualize and think about it. Okay? Though you are not having, maybe something is there, some infection is there. Always is full of that. Then, Gathe Chitte Bhasite Tunnibahe Sampachanya Kayo Bhikkhu. When you're walking, talking, moving, be mindful of the body. These are instructions of the Buddha, okay? So when you're taking the first steps, you're in the walking posture. Gachanto Gacchami. And while you're walking, you can see just your feet area, and the ground. And Ahara Sambuddha Kaya. Then you analyze how this body has come. By food. Aharam aniccham dukkam anatta. Kaya aniccham dukkam anatta. So the food is impermanent, suffering not yours. The body is impermanent, suffering not yours. Sabba sankhara aniccham dukkam anatta. These are all conditioned things. That means consciousness depends on the body. It also has to be impermanent, suffering. This is the contemplative part. Okay? Santakayo, Santavacho, Santava Sutamahito, Vantaloka Miso Bhikkhu, Tadisasana. These are some inspirational words, how the monks are in the olden times. Just to give you some, while you're walking, you can. Then, Avijja Paccha Sankhara. Ignorance is the cause of sankhara. Sankhara pacchya vijnana. Vijnana pacchya jati. Consciousness is the cause for, my teacher is to jump into rebirth, okay? Jati, birth. So you're picturing the Dhamma in your mind. Alright? Jati pacchya jara marana soka paridya. When you are born like that, you will have old age, sickness and death. Sabbe sankhara anicca. For sankhara side, yada panyaya passati. You see this with wisdom. Atanibindati dukkhe. If you have intuitive experience, you will feel dispassionate, like a shock. Esamaggo visuddhya. That's the way to purity. It's Buddha's words. So when you have Dhamma vision, Avijja Nirodha. So ignorance will be diminishing or becoming absent. Avijja Nirodha, Sankhara Nirodha. Then your reaction, karma forming reaction, will not be there. Sankhara Nirodha,
Gnanaloka. Then the rising of consciousness of the will, the cause of it is diminishing, so consciousness of the will start to disappear. When there is no consciousness arising, jati, birth, rebirth, jara, old age, death, all that will be disappeared. Etam santam, etam panitam, sabba sankara samato, patisato, tannakayo, virako, virodo, vipara. So, stilling all the conditioned forms, getting still, completely stillness, overcoming all craving and attachment, this is the highest place. Sankara paramadukam, Nibbanam paramam sukha. Sankaras are highest suffering, formations, condition. Nibbana, dream of that is the highest place. You can have your walking meditation. Just an example, you can, whatever you read, you can contemplate. You can make your own walking meditation. Okay, this is found with my teacher. I used to like to go with him, holding his hand. It was very... So he used to tell me these are objects of meditation. If you get very absorbed in this thing, you will experience Nibbana. Right? So, one day, I don't know why maybe these are all yogis here, I don't know. I'm very glad you asked a question I can't, which you are very interested. I hope you all can do, read it and try it out. You'll get something. Any more questions? Yes.
You can tentatively advise for the beginner of the meditation practitioner what is the best method that we can control our mental mind while doing the meditation?
Okay. I told about the phone, right? So some things you can start with that, right? Actually, I talk about other things in the previous programs about celibacy also, which is not a normal topic touched by. So I told now by this time when I'm coming this program, people should have overcome that. But then some of the organizers told me, 7 years Bhante, they are living in such a materialistic world. I can understand the practicality because I used to talk about that because I don't know how to say this, but anyway, in the Western world it's well practiced. There are a lot of people who are practicing this called no-fap. I don't know whether you have heard no-fap, N-O-F-A-P-P in YouTube and all that you'll find. So I think these things should be practiced from the age of 13, 14. Because these are not just to become a monk only, just to become a human being and become a possibility to evolve. People have to. Unfortunately, it's not known. It was not taught to us also. We have to struggle, and as young people, when I was those days and in international schools those days, I actually saved myself due to shyness in that regard. Otherwise, I would have messed up my things also those days. And dopamine detox in the YouTube you can check also. That's very important. Okay, dopamine detox under these things. And find more things about it, about the phone, the damage, the blue screen. I got to know. It's affecting the pineal gland, serotonin, serotonin in the pineal gland, so which helps you to focus and so on. So there are scientific findings. So because it must be very convincing to you to really discipline yourself. Otherwise, if you don't see the danger in that, really damaging, harming thing, you will not feel like determined to really make a stop to that. Okay, that is very important. And start reading the teachings. That's the start of your meditation. The map. With the map, the treasure map, Dhamma treasure. Get some books. I don't know where you can get these books. And I hope you can do like that. And be careful how you use these other devices. And start and then see how you're changing after 3 days, 1 week. You should notice and feel the well-being mentally. And get into a group also, that's very important. Don't keep yourself alone. How defective the group may be, doesn't matter unless it's really bad, but otherwise that group can help you to protect, especially in this kind of environment. Like even coming like this to temples and any other, if there's something better, try to pursue, go and join them.
So for a lay person, right, because of all the distractions, essential and busyness that you have, that ones have. So, what would be the kind of the minimum? Yeah, because it's going to be, because the billions of people around, with billions of distractions that we have around, so much distractions. What would be the minimum? Yeah, kind of like guideline to help, because not many people can go all day.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So how can the minimum practice? Yeah, maybe we should have a kind of like a
try to get peacefulness in your normal day-to-day activities, like driving. Okay, start from early morning, like you brush your teeth, wash your face. So like that, learn to enter the fresh mind into them before starting your work. That must be a start. Okay, you must try. That also you must try tomorrow I try. So at least when you're sleeping or when you get up, try to lie down and think, let me now try to start my early morning meditation. Okay? So while you're lying down, make that your kind of, and then maybe as soon as you get up, if you properly do it, you start to do it. It seems a small exercise, but if you just get up, it's like you think tomorrow I try and I just do the work. Just try not to get up physically in the first few minutes after you wake up from sleep.
So how do you know you're progressing?
You shine more. You're shining already.
Every morning I've been meditating.
But you will notice you will get less angry, less greedy, and you will notice. Also, people will notice about you. Because your surrounding will definitely notice.
I was thinking, for lay person, we should have like a very modern practice.
You must make a start.
Yeah.
You must make a start. And in your vehicle, I noticed in India, one place in a tram, not a metro, one person is looking from the phone, It was like 2 weeks back when I happened to see, he's looking some of the surahs from the Quran. And it's funny, in English, it's about Joseph, which I got to, it's like a bodhisattva's life story. After I got to know about their story only, I really quite a bit appreciated about Islam. Otherwise the Islam we know is not, that very, so I felt it's just a bodhisattva, really. So he's looking at his life story, some, verses. So when you are looking like that, the sensual world things are replaced by this perception. It's the right way. That's how you have to do. You have to, while you're driving, you're doing things, bring out something inspiring, so that your mind is kept in touch with that perception, and you will be clearing your karmas also while you're doing that. You can start.
In your experience, your practice experience, what is the middle way? What is the
middle way?
Yes.
The middle way I practice?
Yes.
What do you mean by that? Like what?
But you not make the new karma. How you?
Not to make karma.
Yes.
Okay. So my main focus will be, how to keep my sila and mindfulness to get samadhi. Okay. So when I'm getting that samadhi or peacefulness or brightness of mind, then I feel I'm on the right track. I'm also doing those days a lot of walking. I don't know, you have in the Thai tradition Tudong. So like my teacher was all his life Tudong, so I happen to do that too. Not only the forest, even by normal, walking when I have to travel. So there also, as long as I was able to keep the samadhi, or able to have samadhi while walking also, then I continue to do those things. So whatever practice that made sure that, as I said, this activity also, If I can't practice enough samadhi, you know what I mean samadhi?
Yes.
If I can't get to samadhi and I'm too busy and tired like a corporate manager or somebody, I will not do that. So my practice, definitely keeping the meditation going. And I'm now also trying to add whatever the know me meditation, that means the sutta reading and so on. I'll be adding to this with a more free mind, because I have already fulfilled some of my duties to give the Dhamma also. So it makes me more, it's not like something that has made me tired and out of the picture of my general journey. But you wanted another explanation of of the middle way. I would say getting to samadhi is more of a middle way. You can attain that. Even the Buddha found when he was, before his Buddhahood, he went to two extremes. Okay, as a bodhisattva. So he found the way of samadhi means overcoming hindrances. This is the main disturbance to get an experience of the Dhamma. Because we can know the Dhamma, but experiencing is another thing. Two different things completely. So I see anyone who reads these books and leave it aside and searching for something, they have not experienced. If they have ever experienced, they know there are visions opening up. So for that you have to be an ascetic, a yogi, and one who is not a scholar, but someone who is, using the Buddha's teaching. If these two go together, something will happen, for sure. That's the middle way also. Make sure you read and meditate both together. Okay? And I know you didn't get, you're expecting another explanation. You'll have to find it somewhere else. Okay?
And one more question, I don't really understand what the meaning of the Yoniso Manasika.
Okay. Just now you saw me doing the walking meditation. Okay? That's a little bit close to how to do it. Okay? So this is like if you read something, now this is what the Buddha said, some parts. So one part, I told you just to look at the area where I can see my feet. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay? So that part you see, like you're looking from yourself from outside. Alright? And then you analyze, like the contemplating part is there, where how the body came. Buddha, you take what the Buddha has told already. Kaya, other one is Kaya, I couldn't tell that actually. Kaya Purana Karma. Kaya, body is a past karma. Abhisankata, Abhisanchetanita. It's a condition. It's a condition what you intended. Anitya Nirodha Dhamma. It is also impermanent, therefore the resultant, the body also has to be impermanent. Another one is food. Ahara Sambuddha. So you have to mentally picture that. It's not some knowledge that, oh, food is this. You have to mentally picture. Ahara Sambuddha Kaya. Ahara, its body is supported by food. Ahara Aniccan Dukkha. You have to picture. If you are picturing, now even when I am seated, I am using my Yoniso Manasikara, I am going towards that, I will be noticing my breathing. That means I am coming more closer to the physical body attention. Not that I intentionally try to, especially when I am relaxed enough, trying to think in a calm mind, I will be noticing that function of in-breath, out-breath. Not as a anapanasati or anything. It's just that I go to kaya gata sati, that more attention to the body, and then exercising my analyzing, contemplating faculty. That has to be done. That's why you learn not to think and think. So not to think is through samadhi, and then you read this. That's why at least 1 hour, 2 hours learn to sit down and do where you are. Because we have to learn not to think also. That's a very big problem today. And then we must just put a little bit thinking by the Buddha's thinking. Just little analyzing those things. The cause and effect, when you analyze only, you will get that impermanent realizations. So other ones are like avidya paccaya sankhara. I just told them, when you sabbe sankhara anicchati, when you happen to have a vision of that, the truth of that, so you're picturing that, then no ignorance will be absent. Ignorance getting absent, then sankhara will be absent. Reaction. Okay, sankhara being have slowly been reduced, then consciousness will be slowly there. So this you have to learn to think. Do you get that point? Do you? You have to try. Okay, the Dhamma thinking and Dhamma analyzing. Yes.
So that's the no me meditation.
Yeah, when you see, it will result. Because if you happen to condition, you see the conditioned things are impermanent. Me comes to something you cling to as not changing, as permanent. So, but if you see the impermanence, you will not, you know that it's an illusion to think of anything else. What you thought as me has changed to something else.
Yes.
So then.
And so when you're reading the suttas, the idea of not identifying as your personality or like you're learning you or having this this very individual relationship with the teaching is some spaciousness. I mean, it's kind of, I think we're observing the learning, so I'm not so in my personality and thinking. When you're a scientist or you're trained a certain way, you get into that way of thinking. It's so not that. It's something else.
Yes, something means you're trying to know who you are. What is this happening? So you're using it as a map or a guidance for you to observe, to think, to be more awakened about this thing you're carrying, as you, a body or consciousness and so on.
Versus this personality.
Yeah. Actually, it's opposite to creating.
It is.
It's completely dismantling or destroying personality. Delusion, the idea of personality.
Yes.
Buddha is not trying to blindly imagine there's no person. Sometimes we might think, Buddhism has told is no me, no me, no. You have to personally become aware. So I tell normally when you're reading these books, Buddha's teaching, read as if you are reading the first time. Think now, it means be repeated, you have known this before also. But for you to realize this, forget about what you have known.
It's not like I'm going to have an exam on it. Like, don't read it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so conditioned to read, to learn, to do something with it, right? To be a doer versus the knower.
Yes,
and so I thank you. That's like, don't do that. Everything you've learned, it's like,
it's very important for this because sometimes Buddha never revealed or explained these things until your mind was fresh like that. So when it's so fresh, then only put it and then it just opened up. So we can't do that today. So if we know this path is like that. If there's some good company who have practiced that, then they will tell you to stick to those things and empty and just continue. Then something can happen.
Question for ordinary people, right? What would be a best text to read about? Because there are so many books out there written by
I am now promoting this. Promoting means this who is serious to go with the original teachings, and it gives essential concepts and all that from the Buddha. This book was made for personal use by the German monk Gnanaloka Thero. There were scholars who started the island hermitage, and wrong ideas were going to the Western world those days in 1800. So then he made it to so many languages. So this is good. This is a book that made my teacher from a Hindu yogi to a Buddhist in the intern camp in Dehradun in the Second World War time. So this is a good means. I would say you should get Nutshell of Buddhism by Nutshell by Gnanaloka Thero also. Some other little detail about cosmology and some explanations. It will help. And then I would encourage to go to the original teaching, and we will do a small part quickly. Time is passing. The people who want to catch the train, are they here or they are going to miss them? Anyway, yes. Yes. Please tell.
How would we know if we have achieved jhana? This question is about Arpana jhana.
Okay. At least you could tell if you have experienced, I would say definitely when you're in kind of dhyana, or we call it samadhi. There are levels of samadhi, of course. We tell the basic. If you get some, you can't be yawning at that time. like drowsiness, or even anger, or greed. Even if you take food, you will be, food will be there, but you will not have, because the absence of greed and hate and this grosser, the thing is the cause of, that you have that samadhi.
The experience that I had was...
There are some other ones also I can tell, like for example, entering into an AC. It's very difficult to explain because beyond the five senses, we are not supposed to explain. We can tell the way how to attain it. We are not supposed to talk about it if you are really practicing about it. But if you are practicing on that, because these are to be experienced actually.
The closest I had was after concentrating for a while on the tip of the nose. Everything becomes so quiet, calm, peaceful. But then there would be like a gentle breeze like thing on the nose or the point of observation. And that's how it happened. Nothing more than that.
That's okay. Don't name it, I think. Any experience you get, you think you had a good meditation. That's how we do it. So that, we don't expect anything then before doing it. Or while we get something, we would not get stuck anywhere before, while, or after. So you just learn to do the thing that made it happen and pursue in that direction.
Technically speaking, there should be 5 dhyanangas, and the dhyananga should be there in the dhyana.
Yeah, there is...
5 panchanivaras should not be there. So...
In the book it's written like that. When you practice, you don't think, oh, now they told like this, like now it should happen like that. You'll be only thinking of that, not the dhyana happening. You understand? When it happens, just relax. When you let go, only these things start to happen. Just take this as pointers. That's how we do it. The suttas, Buddha's instruction is actually signpost. Too much think about it, not good. It should guide you a little bit, that's all. Yes. Anything else? Anyone?
One last question.
Yes.
You look at within yourself the impermanence and non-self. Is it okay to look at other people?
Yes, of course, like who are you attached to, you can apply that. But we must not, by the time we are observing ourselves, actually we should be, that means we are separate from all thoughts of surrounding and memories and all that. So if you are thinking of somebody more outside, it becomes more grosser. But there are some ways of, like Attanagalla Sutta, where we think of, include of also other objects out of us. Yes, okay, but Asubha Bhavana mainly, it is applied to other people. No more questions? Now everybody attained. Okay, I think now 8:30, right? So, just the last part I want to demonstrate how to read this, at least something. Just, you don't, I think we left the English books, not enough. Little bit books about here. How this, so try to get this, I don't know how you can get it. Even Edgar Casey many mentions, try to get these books, it will support, give you a direction. But BPS, they have Bhikkhu Bodhi, his translations are really good. So we have like Majjhima Nikaya, Middle Discourses. If you really want to do that, but don't, make sure you meditate, read these two together. Okay, but I have not found anywhere where they do this application and practice. There's always an explanation of this, what the Buddha has originally, that is little unfortunate. That means there have not been yogis enough where the teachings are, so our teachers, they did like this actually. So this is very familiar to us also, because I call this now a magic book. This really I'm telling the people, because there's something that you have to, there's that those visions can entire different, the wisdom faculty of our brain in a supreme way is awakened. Buddha is not Buddha for compassion, or of course he has infinite compassion and unequal to any being in this whole universe, but that wisdom. It's not a small joke, to show the consciousness. Even like you find, if you go to like Deepak Chopra and the Eastern philosophies, the consciousness, at least he gives that knowledge to the West, that is something separate. But how the consciousness arises? Because it is really, have you heard about pure consciousness? In that end of that, the highest achievement that you can achieve in that Eastern philosophy is getting pure consciousness. According to Buddha, it is still a consciousness. Where there is consciousness, there is still rebirth. How to escape from this consciousness? Buddha says Sankara Paccha, it goes to the cause of consciousness and removing the cause. So I slightly explained to you all how my teacher also gives the idea that the object is not there. The tanha, craving is not there, distraction, the conditions are not there, it won't arise. So how Buddha knew exactly the conditions and taking away the conditions. So this is a very big thing. Consciousness, even pure consciousness. In pure consciousness, there is no greed, there is no anger, but there is delusion. Delusion means it's not filled with wisdom. Now, when we have this insight knowledge of impermanence and so on, but that also there's a levels of experience, okay? Because people will think now I call like now, normally you have, if I say there's a snake here, you'll be looking everywhere. Suddenly you see the tail. Will you not get a shock? Like that you have in the experience of impermanence and this Lakshana also. That means that much of reality you have not experienced before. That insight will give you a shock, but that shock is called Nibbindati. Nibbindati viracchati nirodhati nibbanati. Nibbindati means that's where only that supreme desirelessness, dispassion is experienced in your mind. So the absence of desire completely, where is that Nibbana? Okay, so this knowledge is not just knowledge, this knowledge is that makes you desireless. This realization. So this is how it has to be, to make it personal. You have to learn to,
So Bhante, you mentioned there is consciousness, pure consciousness, and even that should cease to exist if one is to attain Nibbana.
Yeah, not to be reborn.
So then, who is experiencing Nibbana if consciousness also disappears?
Who is experiencing?
Nibbana or Nirvana.
Because to experience Nibbana, you realize there's no you. So the traveler also disappears. Traveler realizes there was never someone traveling. Just now I told our person who dropped me also, you will not die. Actually what I meant was you will not associate what dies. So then, there's... So just a little quickly, we finish it, okay? I'm surprised all of... when you're reading these books, you must relax. As I told you, look at yourself like from outside. Seated. And sit comfortably. If you're even in bed, or don't sit in a posture where you fall asleep. And then, if you're really in the moment and relaxing, you'll be noticing your breathing. At least there's a sign. You're not tight anywhere, holding your body. Okay. Then, we read this part. What now is the song? We don't have this, I think it's in Sinhalese languages. We have the books, but it's not given there.
We have some Sinhala books we brought, so you can have it. This one, I can share the PDF link if you like, or you can buy from Amazon too. But the Sinhala version we have some copies.
No, let them buy from Amazon or the PDF, okay? It's up to you.
Yeah.
When you try to do that, another karma path will start to open. Okay? If you just listen to me here and go, then it will stop here. It happened to me when my teacher told me to get a certain book from a certain bookshop, when he started the sutta. Okay? So it's anyway, it's up to you. What now is the solid? I hope he will share it also. But I hope the Amazon, then you can find other books also. then it will start a chain reaction. Okay, get the PDF also. Get another book from, I don't know, Amazon, right? Okay. I don't know any other bookshop anyway. We only knew bookshops those days. There's a small bookshop in Sri Lanka. So when you read this, what now is the solid element? The solid element may be one's own or it may be external. And what is one's own solid element? Whatever in one's own person or body, there exists of karmically acquired hardness, firmness, such as the hairs of the head. Now, when Buddha says karmically, you have to know, it doesn't, these body parts don't come by accidentally. We know sometimes we have done some given medicine or it's not getting well. That is karma is there. Okay? If like Edgar Cayce or somebody shows, they might tell sometimes you would have been a wrestler or this mistake, you have given wrong medicine to somebody and now you're having, like that could explain. So this body part, you have to get an idea like that, karmically acquired hardness, firmness, such as the hairs of the head, hairs of body, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, marrow, kidneys, heart, liver. You have to visualize with the red blood, okay? Diaphragm, spleen, lungs, stomach, bowels, mesentery, excrement, and so on. This is called one's own solid element. Now, whether it be one's own solid element or whether it be the external solid element, they are both merely solid. Now, this is the vipassana part, wisdom part. You see the hard nature here or hard nature there, it is same. Okay? So, this is something to be felt, experienced, known from your wisdom mind. This is now sleeping actually, most of us. So slowly we have to, exercise this. So then one should understand according to reality and true wisdom, this does not belong to me. This am I not. This is not myself. It will become apparently clear to you, it's not me, this bone part or tooth or whatever. If you are not getting that clarity, that means you are not doing the right, the focus or reflection. You can check yourself that you are doing it properly. And if you properly do, you feel light after that. Because in the meanwhile, you will let go. So when you are reading and applying, you will feel lighter and energized. Okay? So you must also know while you are doing that, corresponding some other, please, I don't accept spirit offerings. You offer by getting these books, practice and liberate yourself. Don't waste time. All my hard work coming like this will be in vain, Tell you honestly, I'm very happy all of you turn out like this because this is like a test run. I'm not very completely well, but anyway, if there are really, I'm very happy leaving this time. Because California, the other part, they are giving me too much rest. Okay, no problem. But I didn't. So, otherwise, what now is the fluid element? The fluid element may be one's own or it may be external. And what is one's own fluid element? Whatever in one's own person or body, there exists of karmically acquired liquidity or fluidity, such as bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, skin grease, saliva in your bed, in your room alone, you can do this. Okay? Blood, sweat, fat, tears, and skin grease, saliva, nasal mucus, oil of the joints, urine, and so on. This is called one's own fluid element. Now, whether it be one's own fluid element or whether it be the external fluid element, they are both merely the fluid element. One should understand according to reality and true wisdom, this does not belong to me. This am I not. This is not myself. I have to learn to picture this. When you're tranquil, easy for you to do this. Like that. Think you're like the old monks in the old time. With in front of the Buddha. Those days when they cut the hair also they had this experience. Why not? You can do it. Like that you have to slowly, you have to get focus. It will open up an entire liberating world. But again you have to work, you have to go for many things. Then you go to the second base, keep your sila. Don't lie, at least try to do things kindly. These two at least try to practice. And then wait for a time where you can do more. And so more than this I don't want to. Or then it says in the other one, just as one calls a hut the circumscribed space that comes to be by means of wood and rushes, reeds and clay, even so we call body the circumscribed space that comes to be by means of bones and sinews, flesh and skin. So we have to learn to make a picture this. Okay? We will not see male, female or persons then. Slowly we have to do that more. So there are like this so many. Okay. Dependent origination of consciousness. I hope you alone go and read these things, okay? This will help you. Even some question was asked by me some other place. Someone, they said about where the locality of consciousness, whether it is in the heart or explained by Abhidhamma and so on. Now suddenly, look at the lizard, for example. Have you seen when their tail is broken or it wriggles or whatever, shakes on its own. So consciousness is a body base. You can't tell any particular, its condition arises. So Buddha has, not by experimenting, by his awakening he has explained. But we rather go to people who are not awakened and make it very complicated and still under research. You understand? But I'm sure Buddha will also not like you to believe blindly. But if you meditate enough and you do this honestly, these things will become a personal awareness of yours. Sorry to keep you. Yes. Sorry. Come on here.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Please say again, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This is the tradition that we, after Dhamma sermon, you always offer Clarita, but Venerable Thero, he doesn't accept any puja, any Clarita, he doesn't touch money. But this donation will go to one of the, as I heard, okay, he did not tell, one of the organizations that he helped, I don't know where. So the donation, if I am wrong, please correct me.
But I offer to the Sangha here. Here. Please give it to the Sangha here, because I think they need support more in this part of the world.
Yeah, you can just donate to all the nuns here.
Nuns and monks, of course, all.
Monks. Okay, so he doesn't touch money. And,
but more money goes for me, tell you honestly, lakhs of lakhs for my travels, and I don't touch money, but I think I'm very expensive monk. It's honest truth. It's honest truth.
Okay, I don't know actually how to, the words to thank him. I should say much merits. May Venerable Bante be able to enhance his practice towards his journey, and in shorter time may he be able to free from all the suffering and become enlightened. That is our wish. Thank you very much, Bante. That's the word that in English I thank you. Okay. And also we thank all the nuns who are here today for listening to this precious, very beautiful, as I mentioned earlier. I gathered that most of his teaching from his understanding. That's what I gathered. So it's a very precious teaching. I hope everybody, most of you, have got something, and what you have to do is to practice what he asked you to do. And thank you, everybody. Now it's actually 10 to 9. We have almost 3 hours listening to his beautiful, wonderful Dhamma talk. Very compassionate, with lot of compassion. We feel it. And again, may he has very good health. May he be able to live long and practice more and more towards his final journey. And thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Actually, you should thank us for letting us to, for letting you to listen to this beautiful, this precious Dhamma talk. And also we have very delicious food, dinner. I don't know whether it's delicious, I think it's delicious. When I went to the Buddha garage, I smelled it. So please have your dinner before you leave. And for you also, we wish you all the best, and by the power of this understanding, by the power of this knowledge that you received from this Dhamma talk, be helpful for you to have very good lives and have peace of mind and practice more and more. Okay? And may it be finally helpful for your enlightenment. Thank you so much. And also I have to tell you something. It's out of my gratitude. I say this. The gentleman who offered the the set of robe, he doesn't come to the temple often, right? Maybe 1 or 2 times, 3 times. But I gave him this opportunity to offer, to pay my gratitude to him, because indirectly he helped me a lot for my health and for my well-being. Okay, to pay that gratitude. I'm very happy that I was able to do that. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chandran. I have no words to express my.
Thank you, Bhante, for this opportunity and arranging it. So this thing I'm very fulfilled, because I always think I'm not coming here to experience anything in this part of the world, but if I see so many Dhamma, noble beings who want to strive, and some perceptions came to me when I initially started to come to America, even Australia and all these, developed countries, so-called, that certain sufferings that all beings are going through. So that inspired me a lot. Otherwise, I used to think, why not go to Africa or somewhere like that? They have other problems, but there are more tough problems, I know. So I'm very glad that, and especially Bhante has made that good karma, I would say, by bringing John, and I take that good karma with me. And the last Bhante, we do something.
Yes.
Go.
Yeah, just one. And also I thank all the organizers. Actually, there are some people who organize all the events throughout Africa, and providing all the facilities for Bhante to come and give them talks. I think of them also. We share, everybody will share, we give them as shared. So everybody please say sadhu.
I'm very grateful for Bhante reminding everybody, yes, it's not happening just like this. I'm only just appearing and coming and going in Sri Lanka as well as here. they have been all devoted and doing a lot of hard work. Because I have already wanted to come and then it got cancelled and like this, and they have patience to sort of rearrange suddenly thing. So finally, I told you tonight, I suppose I'll give you something, okay? Take it with you all. But there's something for you to eat, I'm sure. But do that. Try not to talk tonight at least. Okay? Take this energy with you, I hope. Try to remain in silence. And tomorrow morning you can talk. So you carry this until at least tomorrow morning, so that you get all the support. Yes? No more question now.
One last question. Is there such thing as nada meditation, or is it just status?
Sorry, nada?
Nada.
Nada, sound. Yeah. It activates the energy, vibration that activates energy points. And it finally leads to samadhi, helps samadhi.
It just doesn't go away, it's there always in the left.
Oh, you mean nada meditation, the sound? Okay.
It's pleasant, but it just doesn't go away.
Like sound or what is it?
Pleasant sound, vibration.
Okay. As I told you, any kind of sound is, or any kind of perception is, you could say, don't reject it or don't accept it. Notice that such a sound is there. So, everybody outside and inside, all you have attended, I wish you all the strength, willpower for the practice, the time, the coming times, that you can put all the effort in your being for the practice. Don't waste this time. We are all not going to be without dying or facing challenges, but I can definitely tell you, I don't think anything is better to face all that if you start these things without a delay, and even immediately experience a state of fulfillment in your life. Not by fulfilling your desires, but by subduing your desires, increasing your wisdom. May it happen very soon. I'm sure it's not by chance we meet like this, and I hope it will, spark a sort of a thing for your future inner journey. And as a human being, a blessing to others, may it become that what you can achieve as a human being, the maximum potential.
This is Sasa, she is the one who brought They are talking about Buddha's footprint in Sri Lanka. It has been placed. Think of that mighty being. Wait. Relax. Rest. Relax your body.
Try not to talk tonight, okay? Close your eyes for 5 minutes. Close your eyes for 5 minutes.
Done.